What is going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam. Hope you guys are doing fantastic tonight. Hope everyone's having a great start to the week and a great Monday. Hope you guys are ready to draft some 2025 fantasy football teams because we are hopping into some 2025 fantasy football drafts on Underdog tonight. And you know what it is. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk some fantasy football, continue to get ready for the upcoming 2025 fantasy football season. We are not that far away from training camp beginning, Hall of Fame game. I mean, we literally have a game of football this month. Okay. So we have training camp just around the corner. Some, rookie training camps have already begun, and we have those teams who will play in that Hall of Fame game at the end of the month, shortly beginning training camp. And it's that time of year, whether we like it or not, to get ready for the upcoming fantasy season. So we've been pumping out a lot more content for you guys, trying to get everybody prepared as soon as possible. And we're going to be ramping up the drafts here on the channel, both mock drafts and real drafts, live streams. So make sure you guys are keeping your eyes posted on Discord and on YouTube as well, so that you guys can get in as many of the drafts as possible. But tonight, the puppy is going to be probably closing by the end of the night, almost completely filled here. So there are, no limits in terms of entering this draft. And it's just $5 per entry. So we'll just go ahead and warm up with one of those. And there are 10 spots currently, 9 spots. So if you guys do want to draft with me, you guys can certainly get in here. We are in the lobby for the puppy 2, 20 seconds per pick. So hit the like button on the way in, get in the live chat. Any fantasy football questions that you guys have? Any NFL topics, fantasy football topics that you guys want to go over? Let's get into it. All right. I think for tonight, I want to go heavy wide receiver, like super aggressive at wide receiver. Yeah, pick 9, so not a bad spot for this. I'm gonna draft like five wide receivers to start. Maybe even push it to 6. 0 RB strat, heavy wide receiver, however you guys want to look at it. And let's have some fun with it. We've been kind of switching up exposure lately, trying out different strategies, and we'll just continue to roll with switching things up a little bit. But yeah, I did a lot of drafts like this last year where I would go 0 running back, essentially very, very heavy at wide receiver. And I like doing that in best ball formats where we're starting 3 wide receivers and a flex. And then we're kind of taking, 2 late round running backs, putting up the running back depth with kind of dart throws as the draft goes on. And hopefully we can stack, a wide receiver quarterback or 2 as well. And probably going to not have the best tight ends tonight, but we'll see what happens. So the redraft leagues for the upcoming season have started to get filled. League 2 is completely filled. League 1 is completely filled as well. So for those of you guys out there who are wanting to play in any of the redraft leagues for the 2025 fantasy season with, the Catch community, make sure that you guys are giving me a DM on Discord or basically Discord. That's gonna be the best way to reach me. And they're all $20 buy-ins, and we still have room in League 3. Once that fills, I'll move on to a 4th league. And I mean, usually we don't need more than 4 or 5 leagues, but if there's a need, we will fill them. So make sure you guys are hitting me up if you do want to play in the fantasy leagues in 2025. All right. Wide receiver to start, Malik Neighbors, Nico Collins, Amon-Ra, B-Tom. Can't go wrong here. I'll go with Malik Neighbors. Literally can't go wrong, though. All great. Cats, what's going on, man? I'm in the puppy 2. So I will try. Sorry, checking out. Forgot I kind of like doing this view for you guys. I feel like the draft board's bigger, but then like if I put your guys' comments on the screen, it kind of covers it. So we'll come down to here. Anyways, yeah, I'll see how I feel after this first draft and see if we're going to roll into 2 drafts tonight or just 1. But I might certainly pop into a second one because these drafts are going pretty quickly with those 20 seconds per pick. See what happens. But yeah, I kind of hopped right into it. Also kind of spurred the moment. Wasn't necessarily planning on streaming tonight, but here we are. I've been having that itch more and more as we're getting closer to the fantasy season, and I do want to start ramping up the live streams for you guys, and getting more drafts out for you guys and doing more mock drafts. I think what I'm going to start doing next week is do a mock draft Sunday night and Tuesday night, do an underdog draft Saturday night and Monday night. I think that's what I'm going to start doing. And I do want to get that extra subscriber mock draft in for you guys on Sleeper. And I think Sunday will let some of you guys who haven't been able to get in as many of those drafts be able to draft in more of them as well. So we'll see how things shake out. Yeah, Gibbs at the 1-8, great. And then that team lands with Devon A-Chain as well. I think that's a great start. A lot of upside at the running back position there. Gibbs tough to pass up there. We see Puka gone at the 1-5 and C-Mac gone at the 1-7. So Gibbs pushed back a little bit there. Then all the usual suspects, Bijan, Chase, Lamb, JJ, Barkley gone. But yeah, I mean, I do think you'll see more and more drafts where the first round's a little bit, for lack of a better term, lopsided as we get closer to August. And this is typical in best ball, people trying to change up their exposure as well as I would say there's some shift in ADP. But we saw this last year with players Gibbs had that injury. Cooper Kupp got really, really popular towards the end of the off season last year. You had other guys start to bleed into the second round, like Jalen Waddle, that weren't there a little bit earlier. And you just see that kind of, first couple players kind of shift around, like CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, and C-Mac kind of swapped around in ADP a lot on best ball to start the year last year. So yeah, we'll see some differences here, but I think the main thing is generally people trying to get different exposure, different stacks, all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, Puka at the 1-5, I'm not against it. C-Mac at the 1-7, not against it, but Gibbs pushed back to the 1-8 tonight, which is a great value. Gibbs A-Chain to start is beautiful. All right. There are running backs I like a lot here, but we're going to keep drafting wide receivers. Give me Jackson Smith and Jigba here. Then we have pick 40, right on the dot. It's an interesting tier wide receivers. There's a possibility that Rashee Rice falls out. But then you got Mike Evans, Xavier Worthy, Ted McMillan, DJ Moore, Metcalf, I guess would end that tier. J-Mo, Sutton, Devonta Smith, Pickens. I do think could easily pick against ADP here. Maybe go for an upside pick. But I think it's just a little bit too early in ADP. But I don't hate J-Mo here. I don't hate Pickens, but I still think there's too much stability on the board. But right now, Neighbors, AJ Brown, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, we've got 3 solid players to start with. I'm not against taking Rashee Rice here. It's only 4 picks against ADP. His ADP's all over the place right now. There goes Xavier Worthy first. So Rashee Rice, Mike Evans, Metcalf, J-Mo, Sutton. I actually really like Cortland Sutton right here. I think I'm going to go Rashee Rice. Let's do it. Why not? Rendon, what's going on, man? Good to see you. 10-team PPR league. If I start with Chase, what should I look for in my next 2 to 4 picks? Good question. So generally speaking, we're seeing Jamar Chase go at the 1.1. A little bit tougher to evaluate in 10-team. Off the top of my head, 12-team is engraved in my brain. But the players that you're going to see at the turn in a 10 team, you'll potentially see a running back like Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Bucky Irving fall out there, and a 12 team be a little bit more difficult. And then in terms of what you're going to get at the beginning of the third round, you could still see one of those running backs. You could see a player like JSN certainly be there. Rashee Rice, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson. That whole tier of wide receivers should still be there. So you could look at it a couple different ways. You could come out the gate with 3 wide receivers, but I would probably try the 1.1 is one of those areas where try to keep things pretty even keel, right? So I would go with a running back and wide receiver at the the 210 and the whatever it is. Once again, 12 team on the top of my head, but your first, second round selection and your third round selection. So I would try to target JT or Bucky Irving, Josh Jacobs if he's there. It kind of depends on your league in terms of like how aggressive the running back position is drafted. But I think if you can get Bucky there, that's perfect. And then whoever you like best in that next tier wide receiver. I like Garrett Wilson or T. Higgins, but I probably want to go Chase and Higgins. So I probably, once again, it's a weird spot for receiver because like Rashee Rice not going to be there. I mean, he will be available, but he's going to fall out. Tyreek Hill, I'm not crazy about. Adams should be there. Like Terry McLaurin, Marvin Harrison Jr. should be there. So I would take a shot on whatever wide receiver thinks best. If JSN is there, then I'm absolutely personally taking JSN, and not even remotely close for me. And I'll break down the next 2 rounds in just a second. All right, I'm going to take 5 wide receivers here. Let's go Calvin Ridley. So Neighbors, Brown, JSN, Rashee Rice, Calvin Ridley. I'll take it. With Rashee Rice news, would you guys go Metcalf, Sutton, Evans, Pickens over Rice? Evans, I was kind of close with. I kind of, to degree, wish I went Evans because I want to get some Baker stacks going. But I'll take the kind of discount. There's only like 4 picks against ADP for Rashee Rice, but in best ball, I don't mind that as much. And Xavier Worthy went the selection right before. But yeah, I would say, I like I said, I don't mind taking Pickens there or JMO, even Devonta Smith to a degree. All right, it was kind of tough to pass on Kamara there, and like I would be okay passing on Kamara or Ridley there and taking Kamara and then going with our 5th wide receiver, but I wanted to go all in there and take 5 wide receivers off the board. All right, so I pick again at 81. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go 6 wide receivers to start. And I'm going to go Godwin here. It was Addison or Godwin. And I've taken, those are like 2 of my most drafted wide receivers. But yeah, let's start 6 wide receivers. Been a while since I've done this. And then we are definitely taking running back with the next 2 picks. If I were to go running back there, it would have been DeAndre Swift or Monty. Okay, we got picks 81 and 88. So we're looking at like the Tony Pollard, Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson. Like I think this is still an okay tier. Then picks 105 and 112. So I still think, we're gonna knock 4 running backs out here. I don't think we're gonna get like a crazy stack at quarterback. We'll figure it out though. All right, yeah, and then Rendon, getting back to your selection there, going into the 4th and 5th round. At that point, I'd probably take an RB2. If Kenneth Walker's there, you got to smash the draft button for me. But in a 10-man, I don't know if Walker and like Chuba Hubbard will last. There's definitely a possibility. If they're there, you take one of those 2 guys. I lean Walker. But guys like Connor, Joe Mixon should be there. Pacheco, Monty should be there. So get that RB2 off of the board. Best available player in your eyes. Then I would take a 3rd wide receiver as well. And it's an interesting spot for the wide receiver position. Once again, I don't think it's a bad spot. You might be able to land like a Cortland Sutton, DJ Moore, Devonta Smith. Like you'll be in that range. And then players like George Pickens, Jameson Williams. So yeah, I go like Jamar Chase, JSN, Bucky Irving, Walker would be beautiful. I don't know if that'll happen. Whoever the best running back you think is there. And then the best wide receiver out of that tier for you, whoever lasts out of those wide receivers we just listed. But yeah, and a 10 man, I don't think the 1.1 is a bad spot to draft from whatsoever this year. Jack, what's up, my guy? Do you still like double hero running back for the 4th pick in a 10 team league? Yeah, nothing wrong. 10 team, you can be a little bit, for lack of a better term, more aggressive when it comes to your strategies, in my opinion. But double hero running back's viable in a 12 teamer as well. Especially if you can land a Bijan at the 1-4, like I'll go double hero running back all day. But Saquon, Bijan, Gibbs, you can get one of those guys. Love it. Absolutely love it. And there's so much value. Man, I was really hoping for Tony Pollard here, but that's okay. There's so much value at the second round, especially in a 10 teamer at the running back position. Like, you're going to be able to land a Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, or Bucky Irving potentially. And like, even if you don't, you can bleed into that next tier of Kyron Williams, Chase Brown, Breece Hall, Omarion Hampton, Cook, Kamara Walker, which I really, really like that tier. So you could also look at this as like, you get the running back in the first round, right? Then maybe you go wide receiver in the second if the value feels better. If Jacobs, JT, Bucky are gone, and then you're going to be able to come back around in the third round and still get a really good running back, in my opinion, out of that next tier. So sometimes you got to play the board. And I'm okay with it either way there. All right, Aaron Jones, not who I preferred here as our RB1, but it's going to have to do. I'm a little tempted to take a stack here, but I think we need running back. So let's go B-Rob. And yeah, I like this wide receiver. You're never going to leave your wide receivers in this type of strategy and feel bad. Neighbors, A.J. Brown, JSN, Rashee Rice, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin. I mean, if we really wanted to, we don't need to draft another wide receiver, but we will. But yeah, Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson Jr. See what happens. Chandler, 18 man. Woo. PPR, 1 QB, 1 tight end, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flexes. Feel like attacking running back early is the smartest idea. Maybe with my first 2 picks, then smash wide receiver, grab value tight end, Kraft or Ingram, and a quarterback like Dak or Stroud. Yeah, generally, I'm probably going to agree with this. But I mean, in an 18-team league, like anything can happen. You could look at positional advantage when it comes to quarterback or tight end. I think it's certainly okay to do so to a degree, but I think ultimately I would go late round tight end. And if you're going to get positional advantage, I would rather get that positional advantage at quarterback. In larger leagues, I'd rather take the advantage at quarterback than tight end. And like you can get by with a top 15-ish tight end, even if the ceiling's not as high. The advantage is better at quarterback. But yeah, I like Dak and Stroud, and that's fine. I would definitely go for wide receiver, running back, flex value first and foremost in a deeper league like this. Who'd you take at the first 3 picks? First 2 picks will be Chase and Bijan, so thinking Barkley or Gibbs. Yeah, I mean, it's whichever running back you prefer here, or Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. I mean, I'm completely fine with any of them. I'm probably still leaning Barkley over Gibbs by a hair, but if you're in that bus of like, the better value lies because of the total touches last year, the better value lies with Gibbs. I'm okay with it. It's very difficult to repeat as the RB1, and we're coming off of a season where we saw a lot of touches to Barkley and all that. So like, it is what it is, however you feel about it. But yeah, I mean, you're going to see a much bigger dip at running back in a deeper league like this with 18 teams. And there will be, in theory, more opportunity at the wide receiver position compared to the running back position as the draft goes on, generally speaking. Brian, what's up? Dak, Herbert, Fields, please rank them for redraft. That's a little tough. I'm pretty high on Fields. Like I like Fields at his ADP. Been a big fan. Sorry, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do here real quick. Let's just take our tight end off the board. Let's go David Njoku. Just trying to look ahead here. I got picks 129 and 136. So there are some running backs that I like in that range. And yeah, I'm not looking at the best quarterback play here. That's kind of given with this strategy. I almost went Rashad Bateman. I was like, chill out. We'll be fine at receiver. I should have went with Addison over Godwin, I'm thinking, just for the easier stack. I mean, right now, like in terms of stacking, I'm looking at not the best options, which is okay. I'm looking at Cam Ward and Darnold. Daniel Jones on the Colts. Russell Wilson. Actually, that kind of fits this draft. Okay, but getting back to your question, I think I'll take the rushing upside of Fields. I'm high on Fields. I love him as ADP, but I also really like Dak. Video that'll go out tomorrow, I talk about Dak Prescott. Fields, Dak, Herbert. I mean, I think this argument debate comes up a lot about Justin Herbert, and like Herbert's fine, but like he's a top 12, top 15 type fantasy quarterback. He did go into last year hurt, then got hurt early, and he started to get going once they really started throwing the football a little bit after week 8. But then he still had some really down games last year between weeks 12 and week 15. And it's hard because it's like a run first offense, and it's hard to really tell at the end of the day how much true production and how much ceiling we're going to get out of Herbert. So I wasn't big on Herbert last year, especially with Jim Harbaugh coming in as first year head coach. And I'm not huge on Herbert when it comes to fantasy. I would definitely prefer Dak and Fields over him. I think this Dallas offense is going to have to throw the football out this year. The defense should see positive regression from last year. They had injuries last year. The defense is not great on paper. The offensive line is not great on paper, but the receiving options are good on paper, So, I'm just personally, I think Dak, who was the QB3 2 years ago, had the most passing touchdowns in the league 2 years ago. The second most passing yards amongst all quarterbacks. I feel really good about him right now, and I'm going to continue to take shots on him when I can. So, but like I said, I do really like Justin Fields as well. I think I go Fields, Dak, Herbert. You could look at it two different ways. Fields more rushing upside, Dak better in terms of a passer. All right. In the 1-3, the two people in front of me said they went Bijan. The other one wants Gibbs. So I can get steals. Yeah, Saquon. Chase? I'm sorry, Chase is there. Is this half PPR? I'm going Chase. Could start Chase, JSN, then Walker. Chuba always falls to me as well. Yeah. So are you saying that they fall to you in the 4th? Because if you can go Chase, JSN, Bucky, or however you want to look at it, Chase, Bucky, JSN, Chase, JT, JSN, Chase, Jacobs, JSN. I love that for you. Then get Walker. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Man, I do kind of want to go Colston Loveland or Dalton Kincaid here, but I'm going to take Rashad White as that's probably going to be my final running back. I'm liking the way this team's turning out. I mean, I like these 0 RB teams. Aaron Jones, B-Rob, Dobbins, Javonte Williams, Rashad White, Neighbors, A.J. Brown, JSN, Rashee Rice, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, David Njoku. And, we're going late round quarterback. It's not going to be pretty. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that'd be a great start. Yeah, so it is 4th round. Yeah. Chase, one of those running backs, JSN, Walker, then take your next wide receiver, Sutton, Pickens, Devonta Smith, DJ Moore. I'm kind of out on Metcalf, but he should be there. JMO, get an upside pick at wide receiver, or you could look at it as a, like a floor play and get a more stable guy like a Devonta Smith or Sutton, right? I will say if Cortland Sutton's there, I really, really like Cortland Sutton. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a great start. Great start for you. All right. All right. Changing the title to the stream to Zero Running Back Fantasy Football Team. I think I'm just going to do one draft tonight. My Han JT this year as well. Now, as many questions as you need. That's what we're here for. Could start Chase, JSN, JT, Bucky, Chase Brown, or Kyron. Yeah. I'm still putting. I mean, JT and Bucky is like splitting hairs for me. I am really high on Bucky. Some people have, JT confidently ahead of Bucky. I have Bucky a hair over JT. I like the offensive situation just a tad bit more. But if you go JT there, I'm not going to blame you whatsoever. Still very high on JT, and he was the RB1 through the last 3 weeks of the season or whatever. I mean, he was fantastic. So, yeah, for me, it I wouldn't think too much about it. I think you're getting great production either way here. All right, sorry, trying to look ahead here to these next two selections and later selections as well. I think I'm going to take Isaiah Likely if he's here. If not, I might reach a little. Let's go Isaiah Likely as our tight end too. I will say I really like Hunter Henry in this kind of range. I mean, I could get him at the next pick, but I'm going to try and get Cam Ward to stack with Calvin Ridley. There goes Hunter Henry anyways. I like Henry in this range a lot. I mean, he really was kind of that security blanket for Drake May last year, and I don't think that's going to change this year. I also could have gone Michael Penix, Kyle Pitts if I wanted to. But it's so funny when you see quarterbacks fall against ADP like this because it's just people passing on them because they don't have the stack that they want. Could go Austin Eckler here. I don't hate it, but I mean, I generally am going to take Penix, Stafford, and probably even Bryce Young over Cam Ward. But for the sake of the stack, I'm going to draft Cam Ward a little against ADP here. It's good for the exposure. But yeah, that's a great start for you, Rendon. I'd feel really good. I think I'm taking Ingram over Andrews and Njoku. I think I have Ingram over Andrews and Njoku, but that's that sweet spot at tight end. That's that tier that I really like in general. So yeah, which whoever you like out of this range of tight ends, I like. I would say I'm really high on Andrews. I talk about Andrews in tomorrow's video as well. Really high on Njoku, and I'm really high on Ingram. But if you want to go Ingram here, I have no problem with it. He's been a player at the tight end position that I have talked a lot about throughout the course of the offseason. And yeah, I got no problem with having. I mean, I think that offense is only going to take steps forward this year. And I mean, like, you still look at what they did last year. Like, they don't need to take any step forward. You know what I mean? I got picks. I got to try and get Sam Darnold with this next pick. Luckily, we're seeing a bit of a fall at quarterback. And once again, like Geno Smith drafted over some of those quarterbacks for the stack with Brock Bowers. But now we do see Michael Penix gone. And no stack there. Or Bijan, the correlations there. Now we see Stafford gone. And no correlation there, but he's a good value right there for a team that only has Prescott. Honestly, I think Knicks will feed him on short routes a lot. Yeah, and you go back to free agency. I mean, Bo Nix wanted Evan Ingram. And yeah, PPR machine, touchdown upside. He'll be the number 2 receiving option in that offense for sure. They're going to see more volume to the run game this year between RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins for sure. But yeah, it's Sutton. I think Marvin Mims will take a step forward. I like Pat Bryant, but I do think that Evan Ingram is the number 2 receiving option here. All right, give me Sam Darnold, baby. Kind of we turned out with better tight ends than I thought, but we were Frankensteining our quarterback room together. I can take Russell Wilson with my last pick. I don't think anybody else is going to really target him. So I've got pick 184. I will take Rico Dowdle if he's there. But this is where we can take a dart throw at wide receiver, or we can take another tight end. Could go Chicken Conco. I was gonna say, what wide receivers? Alec Arrow Manor goes. We don't need to pick him yet. Could go with another tight end like a Cade Otton. But ultimately, I probably want to take one more wide receiver here. It's just the options aren't great. Rico Dowdle will be a good piece for this build, though. All right, fine. I'll go Rico Dowdle. And I could just go 2 quarterbacks here, but there's some pretty intense uncertainty here with Cam Ward and Sam Darnold. So, but yeah, this is not bad. Cam Ward stacked with Calvin Ridley. Darnold stacked with JSN. Not pretty, but it'll do. 0 running back, but Aaron Jones, B-Rob, J.K. Dobbins, Javonte Williams, Rashad White, Rico Dowdle. I mean, this is fine. Wide receivers are stacked. Neighbors, A.J. Brown, JSN, Rashee Rice, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, and Njoku and likely a tight end is good. Sometimes you have to accept, quarterbacks aren't going to be good here. But we're good everywhere else. I mean, I don't truly need to draft another wide receiver, but I'm probably going to. Could take tight end depth here. But I think I ultimately go with a third quarterback. Get the stack with Neighbors and Russell Wilson for at least, the first half of the season. Could see it's Jackson Dart or Russell Wilson, however you want to look at it here. And I got to take another wide receiver. I could go even here. 3 QBs, 3 tight ends, 6 running backs, 6 wide receivers. It's a fine build, but I like to get that additional wide receiver in the mix. Maybe Keenan Allen. Could go maybe Darius. Oh, there goes Darius Slayton. So never mind. Could go Tyler Lockett. I don't know that I need a double stack with Cam Ward, though. LKO Manor, like I mentioned. We already got 1 stack. It's enough. I don't know. I think Njoku and likely can maybe get us through. Nixon Ingram stack could be, very, very productive this year. I am in on that offense going into the season for sure. For sure. Was in on it last year too. Yeah, there's no tight end that really stands out here. If I had passed on Dowdle there and gone Cade Otton, or really any of the tight ends that you see on the screen, I think that's fine. And I do like Justice Hill in this range. So I could have gone tight end there, then definitely still confidently landed Justice Hill if I wanted more depth here at running back, which is kind of needed on this team. I'm more confident with 6 running backs than 5. But it is what it is. I like Dowdle. He was against ADP there. Great handcuff. Could have standalone value. Productive last year. Good offensive line for the Panthers, too. All right, so I'll take Russell Wilson in this draft unless someone else does. Millie Mills, I'm taking Penix for my quarterback this year. Is this a bad move or nah? What's up, Millie? Only time will tell. Everything's there for him to be productive. I would say even a single quarterback, if you're going to draft Penix, draft a second quarterback. Penix still going late enough. Sometimes he's getting undrafted. But he's certainly getting drafted late enough that you can confidently go Penix and target Fields, Penix and Dak Prescott, Penix and Goff. You can even go with a player like Bo Nix or Baker Mayfield in that range and still probably target Penix pretty easily. Penix and JJ McCarthy, Penix and Caleb Williams. I would target 2 quarterbacks ultimately, but I'm okay with going Penix. I think there's plenty of upside there for sure. So I got no beef with it. All right, there's the team. 0 RB build. Quarterbacks are not great. Running backs are not great. Tight ends are okay. Wide receivers are loaded. So Cam Ward is stacked with Calvin Ridley. Darnold is stacked with JSN. And Russell Wilson is here with Malik Neighbors. So I would say if you guys are going to do this type of strategy on best ball or in a best ball format, these may not be the exact quarterbacks, but try to look at wide receivers when you're drafting them early who you can correlate to stacks in which the quarterbacks are cheap and have late round draft value. We certainly did that. Maybe a little, push the envelope a little bit too much here. But Ward, Darnold, Russell Wilson what to get us through. Wide receivers are stacked. Malik Neighbors, A.J. Brown, JSN, Rice, Ridley, Godwin. Keenan Allen is our dart throw wide receiver. Those first 6, absolutely beautiful. Tight ends did not turn out that bad. I expected worse. David Njoku, Isaiah Likely. Could have gone with the 3rd tight end if we wanted to. Could have gone 5 running backs or even 6 receivers. Maybe if the quarterback room felt more stable, I'm okay with 2 quarterbacks if that were the case. Here are the running backs. We did go 6 running backs because we have some instability here. Aaron Jones, B-Rob, Dobbins, Javonte, Rashad White, Rico Dowdle. Some notes, could have skipped out on Ridley and gone Kamara and still gotten Godwin or Addison right there. Could have also skipped Godwin at pick 64 and gone DeAndre Swift and then gotten our 6th wide receiver, a little bit more of a swing in this tier of like Pearsall, or Golden, Igbukba, Mooney, Pittman, but still not awful. Other than that, I feel pretty good. We could have also drafted a quarterback, in quite a few different spots between 129 and 153. But, say what you want, but I feel like these 3 picks were perfectly fine for this roster. Other than that, other than that, we're splitting hairs. Everything looks pretty solid. So there you guys have it. Another fantasy draft in the books for the 2025 fantasy football season. So shorter stream tonight, just going to run through 1 draft here. But like I said, going to start upping the amount of streams, the amount of drafts and all of that stuff for you guys, get you guys, more of you guys' fantasy questions answered and help you guys, get prepared for the 2025 fantasy football season. So tomorrow's video will be 8 players to keep secret from your league mates for the 2025 fantasy football season. And then we will also be running a subscriber mock draft on Sleeper tomorrow night as well. So make sure you guys are joined the Discord, completely free to join. That link is down below. And our 2025 fantasy football leagues are officially filling and filling quickly. Every league is a $20 buy-in. The details are on Discord. If you guys want to play with the community this year, make sure you guys send me a Discord message so I can get you guys on the list. And that'll do it. We'll be back tomorrow with a subscriber mock draft on Sleeper. So I'll see you guys then. Make sure you guys check out tomorrow's video. And that will do it for tonight's stream. So with that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on The Catch. And